Hi, my name is Lindsay, and I'm from the College of Worcester, and I'm going to talk about ways that you can help friends who are in need or are maybe going through crisis situations. So I've definitely had times when I've had to help friends. One example is I had a friend who went to a college party one time, was dancing with a guy who was trying to make some sexual advances on her, but she realized she didn't want that, so she tried to push him off, but he got angry, got a little bit physical with her, pushed her around a little bit. So she fled the party, very scared, knocked on my door at 3 a.m. I was getting texts from another friend saying that he ran into her and that she wasn't doing too well and needed my help in the situation. So what we did is we walked her to her room since she felt unsafe, and we actually brought a security officer to her from the security services on campus. We also hooked her up with a 24/7 on-call emergency counselor that she could talk to at that moment. So that's kind of ways that we responded. And I definitely knew that something was wrong because, well, I was getting knocks on my door at 3 a.m. and texts from a friend. Um, so that kind of tipped me off. So if you are noticing some strange or unusual behavior changes in a friend, that can kind of tip you off about something maybe going on. For example, if you have a friend who's usually very outgoing and bubbly, but they're suddenly very withdrawn one day, that can kind of let you know that something else might be going on and you might want to investigate about that to make sure that they're okay. Another example I can think of is I have a friend who used to be in an abusive relationship and saw saw the guy and wanted to ask him about something to clear the air that she had heard, but he appeared to be intoxicated, started yelling at her, being verbally abusive, getting in her face, looking like he was about to do something physical. So she was extremely scared. I happened to witness this. So we walked right to the security center, filed a report, and I let her stay in my room for that night since she felt unsafe. So that's just offering your time to somebody and willing to spend time with them and give them a place to stay if necessary can really be helpful to give them that support system and make sure that they're not feeling alone. So I have been personally helped by friends, and some things that my friends have done to help me is, for example, just letting me know that I'm being heard. I had a friend who just listened to me talk for 2 hours the other day about things that were bothering me, and that meant so much to me because I knew that she really cared, and I was able to get some things off of my chest that have been bothering me for a while. So that kind of lifted some anxiety for me. Also, there's been times I've been ashamed to seek out help from certain resources on campus, so my friends have offered to walk me to these appointments so that I didn't feel so ashamed. There's a certain sense of feeling supported when that happens, and when your friends make sure that you get places that you need to go and help you find these locations. So that's something that you can implement with friends in need as well. Um, so ways to let other people know that you're listening and that it's okay in a judge-free zone is, well, first off, just tell them that you're not judging them and it's okay. Sometimes people need to hear this. Also, let them know that their secret is safe with you, and it'll just help a lot because it takes a lot to disclose information to other people because you're sort of giving part of yourself and you don't know where this information is going to go. So it can help them to feel more trusting and to feel safe. Also, offering advice whenever possible. And one huge thing is if you can offer similar experiences that you can share, stories of times that you felt the same, it'll sort of level the playing field and make them feel less ashamed of whatever's going on and less alone, knowing that you've been right there with them. So, some things you want to avoid when talking to friends in need is definitely don't be negative about the situation. You want to build them up. So maybe remind them of the good things about themselves that can help them get through. So, for example, maybe you have a friend who is really stressing out about a math test because they feel like they're terrible in math. So you can remind them, well, I know that you have really exceptional organizational skills, so maybe you can apply those by creating an extensive study plan for how you're going to study this math. Um, and that can help them to get through it. And of course, you can apply that to any sort of situation. Just remind them of what they're good at and why they can get through. Also, make sure that you definitely want to make sure that you are not blaming them for the situation. So just listen and offer good feedback rather than saying, oh, well, if you had done this differently, then this wouldn't have happened, because no one needs to hear that. It's just going to make them feel more frustrated and ashamed and less likely to seek out help um, and create more anxiety. So some resources that you can take for yourself or offer to others are telling them about counselors on campus, maybe the health center, security resources, even academic resources such as the Learning Center, Writing Center. You can even offer your own services in tutoring or sharing notes. You can send them helpful articles that you find related to their situation. I have a friend who has gluten intolerance, and I just found an article about foods that are good for people with gluten intolerance. So I sent it to her on Facebook. So you can just do little things like that. Or even if you find something at a store that reminds you of somebody, if they're, really stressed out on a particular day, you can pick it up while you're there and send it to them and say, I was just thinking of you. And just knowing that someone's thinking of you can have a huge emotional impact and help them to get through. So that's about it. Just know that there are resources available if you're personally going through a crisis, and if you're trying to help others in a crisis, just offer support and let them know of ways that they can seek help. Thank you.